My girlfriend was laughing loudly with her friends. I'll break up with him after he asks me to marry him. I patiently waited, and 2 days later, she was yelling into my intercom, asking for forgiveness. I'm a 29-year-old guy, and I've been dating Patricia, who is 27 for 3 years. Yesterday changed everything I thought I knew about our relationship, and I'm still trying to understand what happened. I need to share this story. To give you some background, we met through friends at a housewarming party and moved in together last year. Everything seemed perfect. She had been hinting about marriage for months, showing me pictures of rings on Instagram and talking about wedding places. I was even planning to ask her to marry me next month. Yesterday morning, I was at our favorite coffee shop, Local Beans. I sat in the back corner with my laptop, wearing my earbuds but not listening to anything, just trying to get some work done. That's when I heard familiar laughter. Patricia was there with her friends, Gladys and Mary. They sat at a table right behind me and didn't see me because of the tall booth divider. At first I thought about saying hi, but then I heard my name. Patricia was talking about me, and something about how she sounded made me stay quiet. "So you're really going to do it?" Gladys asked quietly but not very well. Patricia's laugh sounded different, cold and cruel. Of course, Brent is so predictable. He's been looking at rings online. I saw it in his history. God, he's such a fool. "But 3 years?" Mary asked, sounding unsure. "That's a long time to pretend." "Please," Patricia said. "The apartment is in his name. I barely pay for anything, and Jason's place is much nicer. You should see his car." My hands were shaking, but I stayed still. Jason is her work friend who has been showing up in her Instagram posts lately. "What if Brent doesn't propose when you want?" Gladys asked. "Oh, he will. I have him wrapped around my finger. And when he does," Patricia lowered her voice, but I could still hear her, "I'll let him do it in front of everyone. Get down on one knee. Say his little speech, then I'll laugh in his face and tell him what a loser he is." Jason already has our Cabo trip booked for the next day. They all giggled, and I heard ice cubes clinking in glasses. "You're so bad," Mary squealed. "What about all his friends, our friends?" "They'll get over it. Most of them are his friends anyway. And I have better options with Jason's crowd. Better parties. Better connections. Brent is nice and all, but he's just basic. Did you know he still uses a Timex watch in 2025? I sat there, letting my anger build slowly and controlling my breathing. 3 years. 3 years of my life, and she had been playing me the whole time. "When is D-Day?" Gladys asked. "He always does big things at Giovan's, that Italian restaurant he thinks is fancy." More laughter. I give him 2 weeks max. I've been sending him photos of that princess cut ring from Somerset Jewelers all week. They talked more about Jason, their secret dates, and how Patricia had been saving money from our shared account. Everything she said made me grip my phone tighter, but I didn't move. I just kept recording. Finally, they left. I watched through the window as they got into Patricia's car, still laughing. She had no idea. I heard everything. No idea that I recorded her entire confession on my phone. I drove home in shock, but my mind was already thinking about what to do next. The apartment lease, our shared accounts, all the proof I needed. My anger had turned into something cold and focused. When Patricia came home that evening, I acted completely normal. I asked about her day and listened to her lies about lunch with the girls. She kissed me and said she was thinking about Juven's for our anniversary next week. "Great idea, babe," I said, smiling. "I've been thinking we should do something special." She smiled back, probably thinking her plan was working perfectly. If only she knew what I had planned for her. I'll share updates as things unfold. Right now I need to make some calls and set things in motion. The next few days will be interesting. Update 1. Quick recap. I overheard my girlfriend, Patricia, 27, at a cafe telling her friend she was planning to embarrass me during my proposal and that she's been seeing some guy, Jason, from her office. Buckle up because the last week has been crazy. After that day at the cafe, I went into full detective mode. I know it sounds dramatic, but I needed solid proof before making any moves. The first thing I did was create a fake Instagram account and started following Patricia's friends. Gladys and Mary, these people post everything. Within 2 days, I had lots of screenshots of them at different bars and restaurants with Patricia and Jason. The best part? In several photos, you can clearly see them kissing while Patricia's wearing the promise ring I gave her last Christmas. But here's where it gets better. Remember how Patricia always works late on Thursdays? Well, I decided to grab dinner at a small Thai place near her office. Guess who I saw sharing pad Thai and playing footsie under the table? Yep, Patricia and Jason, looking very much not like co-workers. I wasn't going to do anything stupid. I just sat at the bar, ordered a beer, and recorded a few clips on my phone. The funny part is they were so caught up in their own world that they didn't even notice me. Patricia was literally wiping sauce off his chin while wearing my hoodie. The audacity! The next day I ran into Gladys at the grocery store. She looked like she'd seen a ghost. I just smiled and asked her how the cafe meetup was last week. She started stammering about how she had to go. But I kept her there by asking innocent questions about Patricia. Oh, how's she doing with that big project at work? Must be stressful with all those late meetings. Gladys was sweating bullets. I decided to really twist the knife. I pulled out my phone and showed her the engagement ring I was planning to propose with. It was just a photo from Google. Her face went through about 5 different emotions in 3 seconds. She immediately called Patricia after leaving the store. I know because Patricia called me 5 minutes later, being suspiciously sweet and asking about dinner plans for the next few weeks. My friend Jacob helped me set up the next phase. He works at the same company as Patricia and Jason, but in a different department. Through him, I learned that Jason isn't just some random guy. He's actually in the middle of a divorce, which Patricia had no clue about. He's been telling her he would leave his wife for months. I've been acting really nice and dropping hints about our future. Patricia's been eating it up, probably thinking her plan is working perfectly. Yesterday, she even left her phone unlocked while taking a shower. I didn't need to snoop. Her messages with Gladys were right there on the screen. He's totally going to propose soon. Everything's perfect. Jason says we can go public right after I dump Brent. Here's the best part. I've booked a table at that fancy steakhouse downtown for next Saturday. Patricia thinks it's for a proposal. Her friends all RSVP'd to come celebrate with us. Even Jason's planning to be at the bar, coincidentally, to watch the show. Little do they know, I have a whole different kind of show planned. I've already lined up a new apartment. My stuff's been slowly disappearing from our place. Nothing obvious. Just things she wouldn't notice right away. The ring box I'm bringing to dinner has printouts of all their photos and messages, plus a special note just for her. The hardest part has been acting normal. Every time she kisses me or talks about our future, I have to hold back the urge to call her out. But watching her dig herself deeper while I'm planning something bigger is almost poetic. My hands are shaking just writing this. But not from sadness, it's from excitement. Saturday can't come soon enough. I have everything documented, witnesses ready, and an exit plan. Patricia thinks she's about to star in her own little romance movie, but she has no idea she's in a tragedy of her own making. I'll update again after Saturday, and trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. Edit. Thank you all for the support. And to those asking, yes. I've saved all the evidence in multiple places. I'm not leaving anything to chance. Edit 2. Many of you are asking about Jason's wife. Don't worry. She's going to get all the evidence too. I'm not the only one who deserves to know the truth. Update 2. Everything happened last night, and I'm still trying to process it all. Thanks for the support from my previous posts. You helped me stay focused when I needed it most. I made a reservation at Bel Rosa for 7:30 p.m. It's not a fancy 5-star place, but it's the nicest Italian restaurant in our area, and Patricia had been hinting about it for months. I knew her friends, Gladys and Mary, would be there. They'd been texting her all day about the special night. Little did they know, I wore that blue suit Patricia always said made me look good. I picked her up at 7 p.m. and she was practically glowing. She kept checking her phone during the drive, probably texting her friends and Jason. I just kept smiling, remembering how she laughed about her plan to embarrass me. The restaurant was busy, perfect. Her friends were already there, phones ready to capture the moment. I spotted Jacob sitting at the bar right where we planned. Patricia was getting fidgety by dessert, probably wondering when I'd get down on one knee. That's when I did something she didn't expect. I stood up, but instead of reaching for my pocket, I picked up my wine glass. I'd like to make a toast, I said loudly enough for nearby tables to hear. Patricia's face lit up. Gladys was already ready with her phone. To Patricia, I started, who's been sharing my life for 3 years. She was smiling. Who's been sharing her life with Jason from accounting for the last 8 months. The smile froze on her face. I pulled out my phone and played the recording from the cafe. Her voice filled our corner of the restaurant. I'll brutally dump him after he proposes. Jason and I have plans for a weekend getaway. The color drained from her face. Gladys and Mary sat there with their mouths open. What's funny, I continued, keeping my voice steady, is that Jason never told you he's married, did he? That's when Patricia lost it. She jumped up, knocking over her wine glass. You, she screamed. You set me up! The restaurant went dead quiet. No, Patricia, you set yourself up. I just decided not to be your punching bag. I turned to Gladys and Mary. Did you know she was planning to embarrass me? Or were you just happy to go along with it? Mary started crying. Gladys tried to defend Patricia. You don't understand. Oh, I understand perfectly, I interrupted. Check your phones. I just sent you both some interesting screenshots of Patricia's conversations with Jason, especially the ones where she brags about playing both of us. Patricia lunged for my phone, but Jacob was already there, stepping between us. Don't, he said quietly. That's when she really lost it. You ruined everything, she screamed, mascara running down her face. I had it all planned. Who do you think you are? The manager came over. Patricia was still yelling about how I betrayed her. Ironically, Jacob helped me handle the bill while she was taken out, still screaming. Gladys followed her, but Mary stayed behind. I didn't know, Mary said, looking sick. She told us you were controlling, that she needed a way out. She showed me her phone. Patricia had been spreading lies for months, painting herself as the victim. I walked out to find Patricia sitting on the curb, crying into her phone, probably calling Jason. Good luck with that. His wife found out last week. Gladys was trying to comfort her, but stepped back when she saw me. How could you do this to me? Patricia whimpered. The anger was gone, replaced by something sad. I loved you. No, I said. You loved what I could give you. There's a difference. I got in my car and drove away. She kept calling and texting all night, switching between threats and begging. I blocked her number. This morning, my phone exploded with messages. Apparently, Patricia showed up at Jason's house at midnight, causing a scene. His wife called the cops. Now Patricia is all over our friend group's chats, trying to twist the story her way. But the screenshots and recording are already out there. No one believes her anymore. I should feel bad about how public it all got, but you know what? After hearing her laugh about planning to embarrass me in front of everyone, this feels like karma. Jacob is taking me out for drinks tonight, saying I need to relax after all this. He's right. My hands are still shaking when I think about it. Not from sadness, though. For the first time in months, I feel like I can breathe again. Edit. Someone asked in the comments, yes, I have her things from my apartment packed up. No, I'm not dealing with her directly. Her sister is coming to pick it up tomorrow. Edit 2. Thanks for all the support, and no, I'm not interested in your sister who would never do something like this. I need some time to myself. Finally, update. It's been 2 months since the restaurant incident, and you guys won't believe how things have turned out. I've been getting a lot of messages asking for an update, so here it is. Remember how Patricia was crying and begging outside my apartment? That was just the start. The next morning, I woke up to 47 missed calls and a flood of text messages. She spent the whole night switching between threatening me and asking for forgiveness. Classic. But here's where it gets interesting. Remember Jason, her guy on the side? Turns out his wife works at the same company, just in a different department. Someone, not me, sent their entire text history to her work. The fallout was huge. Jason got fired because he was Patricia's boss, and workplace relationships with subordinates are strictly against company policy. Patricia got fired too, but not before having a complete meltdown at work. My buddy Jacob, who works in their building, told me she flipped a desk and started screaming about how I ruined her life. Security had to escort her out while she was yelling that she would make me pay. How classy. But karma wasn't done with her yet. Remember those screenshots I collected? The ones where she bragged to Gladys and Mary about playing me for a fool? Well, they somehow made their way to our entire friend circle group chat. Not saying it was me, but hey, my finger might have slipped. The best part? Her friends turned on her hard. Mary actually came to my place to apologize, saying she had no idea how deep Patricia's manipulation was. Apparently, Patricia had been spreading lies about me for months, saying I was controlling and borderline abusive. The screenshots proved otherwise, showing her bragging about how she could make that idiot buy her anything and how she was only with him for his money. Joke's on her, I'm not even rich. Patricia tried to fix her image, but it backfired big time. She showed up at our favorite bar, where everyone hangs out trying to tell her side. But Gladys, who had been her best friend for years, just stood up and said, "You're pathetic." And we all see it now. Patricia threw her drink at her, got banned from the bar, and ended up crying in the parking lot while everyone watched. Not her best moment. The apartment situation really got to her too. We lived separately, but she had been bragging to everyone about moving in with me after the proposal. She had already given notice at her place, expecting to move in with me. Now she's crashing on her cousin's couch because no one else will take her in. And with no job, she can't afford a new place. Last week, she showed up at my job site, causing a scene and screaming about how I owed her for 3 years of her life. My crew just stood there filming while she had her meltdown. That video has gotten quite a few views on our local Facebook. Not that I care. But it's kind of satisfying. But here's the real kicker. Remember the ring she thought she was getting? I took that money and booked a solo trip instead. I posted some pictures at this amazing beach place. Patricia lost it when she saw them, sending me a long message about how that should have been our vacation money. Oh, and speaking of photos, I met someone, Ramona. She's nothing like Patricia. She actually has her own life, her own career, and doesn't play games. We've been seeing each other for a few weeks now. She saw Patricia's latest social media rant about me. Yes, she's still posting. And just laughed, saying, "Sounds like someone needs a hobby besides stalking their ex." Patricia found out about Ramona through Instagram and went crazy, messaging Ramona with warnings about me. Ramona just sent back that video of Patricia's parking lot meltdown and blocked her. God, I love this woman. The cherry on top? Patricia's parents, who always treated me like family, called me last week. They apologized for their daughter's behavior and said they raised her wrong. Her mom was crying, saying she was so ashamed. It must have been humiliating. Everyone in their church group has seen the videos by now. So yeah, that's where we're at. Patricia's jobless, friendless, and apparently moving back in with her parents. Her reputation is ruined, and she did it all to herself. Meanwhile, I'm doing better than ever. Karma is a bad, but not as much as Patricia. Edit. Thanks for all the awards and messages. To answer some common questions. Yes, I'm still with Ramona. Things are going great. No, I haven't heard from Jason's wife, but apparently she took him for everything in the divorce. And yes, Patricia is still trying to contact me through fake accounts, but at this point, it's just sad. Edit 2. Stop asking for the meltdown videos. I'm not sharing them. This isn't about public embarrassment, even if she deserves it. TLDR. She tried to play me and ended up playing herself. Lost her job, friends, and dignity. I found someone better and couldn't be happier. If you enjoyed this Reddit story and want to hear more, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more thrilling content. Your support means a lot. Thank you for being part of this journey.